So we have now been back on the bandwagon fighting our original issue, which is with council for all the stuff that they haven't done, haven't looked at us, never give us information in the first instance. And so we've got a reasonable ear with the guy at the moment. Neil has been to see him on Monday, I think it was, and he had an hour and a half or something with him to try and get across the issues that this whole community has with a service station being stuck in our front door, which we don't really like. And that's probably it in a nutshell. It's probably a bit rough around the edges, but that's basically where we finished, or how we finished up with it. But we're still fighting, and we'll still fight. And I'll never buy petrol.
Tell them we want to put a Christmas tree there.
We've asked them to put that first roundabout, move it back 50 metres towards Drysdale, to go straight across where. Pardon?
Can you tell us what Josh said to, what Josh emailed back to Neil today?
They haven't got permission to construct anything there yet. There's so many clauses that they haven't abided by.
So how did they get a permit when they hadn't done all that work? I mean, if you build a house, you've got to have everything, you know, there ready to go before you can build. They seem to have shortcutted from the beginning.
That's the reason why we're still arguing, because we don't believe that they can do what they can do. However, let me tell you what the council told us, that they can develop the area, but they can't construct anything. So development means that they could bulldoze it, level it, cut the trees down, all that sort of stuff, make a mess of the place. But when they started digging holes in the ground and put the tanks in, that's part of development. So they've told them to stop everything until all these things that Neil went to see them about. There's 27 conditions that they have to apply to, and we don't believe there's probably about half of them that they haven't done, which is noise. They haven't addressed the noise issue, the water, the safety, you know, all.
And yet council gave permits.
Council give a permit because
said that's fine.
Yeah.
Should put a Christmas tree.
I think from day one, I came into that first meeting and I said to my wife, too late, they've already made their minds up. And they had. We had no way of rolling them.
The machinery was there when it went to
The
the
day after.
and as soon as the decision was made, they were in.
The day after they were going.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as I keep going, bring back the condition and accept the council's.
Really, I mean, it's the way it's operating is not professional enough, and it just shows you with all these conditions now, they haven't met. It's a disgrace.
I don't know. The council and VCAT and even the EPA say that they have no jurisdiction over what's going on. I mean, we thought the EPA might have been a bit interested in the 3,000 or 8,000, whatever square metres of land they've got there that's now going to be concrete instead of grass and dirt. That water's going to run off, and where's it going to run? Oh, it's not going to run towards Lake Lawn, it's going to go towards... What about that dam, that pristine dam that's been there since the year died? It's going to fill with rubbish. Yeah. Yes, Brian.
And what's going to happen when big roads want to build road and like to look at the enough space left for them to have the service station?
But I think we've got big roads.
It does have... There is enough room, Diane.
Is there?
Oh, well...
The corner itself is actually part of what they can't develop on.
That's right.
The actual corner.
Yeah.
That's where
They're just using that to store all the rubbish at the moment.
Yeah. The only thing I've got against on big roads with the roundabout, or the two roundabouts which they prefer, is if you're coming from Drysdale, you're going to then come across the traffic from Jetty Road going around the roundabout, so you've got to give way again to the right. Then you come up to the big roundabout, and then you've got to give way again to the traffic on the right. Yep. So are you going to be any better off?
You're never going to get into the way out of the service station.
Having seen the plans for this here, we've got some issues about the way Jetty Road, because when they put the service station in, you could look down from the current roundabout down Jetty Road and see a fair bit of free space. Now, that's gone, because the first 80 metres of it is missing. It turns into the first roundabout, and so that makes a problem for kids going to school on a bend, going into a service station. Someone drives, oh, a bit extra fuel, and you see a kid running up the side, you know. It's just bad management, but we're still fighting that.
Well, if you look at what it's going to be like, go to Bannockburn on the roundabout going to Ballarat.
Right.
Look at the when they go around the roundabout,
Yep.
on that corner is a Caltex station being built.
Right. Being built?
Yeah. It's nearly built, actually. If you look at that and look at what we're going to get crossing, it's going to be very, very similar.
Okay. So is there any other new issues about that? Well, I mean, we're just roughly explaining where we're at. We can't afford to do anything like legalistic. But if you've got any new ideas, you've got Neil's contact details or anyone you know on the committee.
Power. Have you written to Lisa Neville? Have you written to Lisa down there?
Lisa Neville's all over this. Yep. Valerie Catchment Network. Anyone who's anybody we've tried to get on board, and most of them they're all on board with it. Lisa Neville wrote back tonight because we're really crying about the fact that this company, the lawyers in Melbourne for the petroleum industry, are now going to hit us the cost because we took them to VCAT. They want us to buy petrol at their service station, but they're going to kick us in the guts with the cost. So we've written to Lisa to say, can you write a reference letter for us to say that, look, lay off or whatever parliamentarians can do for you. She doesn't believe that VCAT will award costs against us, but until that goes to VCAT, we don't know. What happens now is that the lawyers will put their costs into VCAT, and then VCAT will advise us of that, and then we have to put a submission in why we shouldn't get costs awarded against it. So we've still got some battles to go yet with VCAT. In the meantime, we're still trying to battle with council.
So on a governance issue, are you a non-government? Are you a
Incorporated?
incorporated?
We're an incorporated association.
Yeah, thanks, sorry.
Good.
So individuals can't.
Yeah.
Who has the most amount of money to give this?
That's right. And it is a petroleum industry we are fighting after all. But
Doug, can
Yes.
I ask, and Neil, was there any further information given that we're able to impart to everybody here from Josh Trowell at council?
I will go through what he wrote.
I think it would be good for people to hear.
Now, these are the questions or some of the things that Neil has posed to them. We wanted to send 4 people in, and they said, no, you can only have 1. So Neil had to go in. Question 1, have Southern Rural Water, the Corangamite Catchment Management Authority, Bellarine Catchment Network, the EPA, the CFA and Emergency Services been given the opportunity to comment on the planning permit application? The response, the application was not of a kind listed in clause 66 of the Greater Geelong Planning Scheme and did not therefore require referral to the persons or bodies specified above, in accordance with section 55 of the Planning and Environmental Act of 1987. So, they said, no, it didn't have to. Tony, you want to run this? You're going to come over here. Council has the discretion to refer applications for comment under section 52 of the Planning and Environmental Act. In this instance, it was not considered necessary to refer the application beyond that which has been clearly outlined in the Officer Delegate Report. Gobbledygook. Question number 2. Is groundwater monitoring a condition of the granting of the permit, and will Council monitor the results? The response. Council does not typically monitor the groundwater. In accordance with the guidelines on the design, installation and management requirements for underground petroleum